So I invite anybody that hasn't, if you've played Symphony of the Night, go and revisit some of that music because it's fantastic. And anybody that hasn't put the Castlevania Symphony of the Night CD, the actual black disc, in and push next in the car, gotta do it. Find out what happens. So now we're gonna take another leap, and we're gonna talk a little bit about PC, very little bit, because there's a lot we could talk about in PC. We've already talked about the transition to Redbook audio, which happened. I remember many games would ship. I remember specifically with Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Mm-hmm. There was an option that you could select if you didn't have the CD drive or you didn't have the capability, you could switch to MIDI versions of the music rather than CD versions of the music. That would run Redbook audio. So, games really on the PC made that leap a lot sooner. I remember Quake, the original Quake. Not great music in the game. Although actually there were some interesting compositions by Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. And so it certainly wasn't bad music, it was good music. But I remember about that game specifically is you could put an audio CD in the drive.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be automatically detected by Quake.
Couldn't you do that in Tribes as well?
You can do it in Tribes. Mm-hmm. And then what would happen is as soon as you finish a level, not so much in Tribes, but in Quake, when you finish a level, it would automatically stop the track as if that track was made for that level. Mm-hmm. And then it would start another track, the next track for the background music of the next
I was very impressed with that implementation when I first saw it.
We all thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Looking back on it now, it wasn't very effective, and now people have music collections in the thousands and thousands and thousands of songs.
Well, you could blow people's heads off with Frank Sinatra in the background. What's wrong
Why
with
not? Fly me to the moon. The head flies off. But yeah, so just some honorable mentions, I think, from PC, because I don't know that there's anything that we really want to just throw out there and say is the greatest music in the world. For me specifically, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and Heroes of Might and Magic 5. And that was spectacular. The music in 5 is great as well. We know it so well and we love it that we use it in we've used it in videos, we've used it in things that we've done here at the Clan of the Grey Wolf. Absolutely, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 and 5. So a few games from the PC that have won awards and have really provided a great example of how well music can be implemented inside the video game space. World of Warcraft, obviously, and we saw a little bit of that when we went to the Play Symphony. They did play a World of Warcraft piece. But for what was exciting for me, looking at the poster and looking at the program, was Guild Wars. Guild Wars, which is one of the favorites of mine. The Guild Wars music is simply amazing and is just phenomenal for, again, very necessary for gameplay. Very necessary in the background, but doesn't beat you over the head. It does a very, very good job of that. So check out the Guild Wars music. WoW has great music as well. I've heard a lot of music from WoW, and I've been very impressed by it. I don't play WoW a lot, but I'm sure people have kind of ties to WoW music that maybe I don't have. And that's kind of our little roundup of PC music. You could spend a lot of time, folks, talking about some of the classic adventure games, a lot of things that were very PC-centric. Just as long as you skip over the Doom music. But
Not even Doom music.
Not even Doom music can save this podcast. But we're going to skip over a lot of that because I think it's a little bit of a different animal, and there's so much kind of fluidity and freedom with music and how it's implemented on the PC. Let's jump ahead a little bit and go straight into contemporary and recent games that could be for really any platform.
Like past decade or so.
Yeah, past decade, new millennium that we really think, do a great job in terms of video game music.
I have to start out with what I think is probably the last real hurrah for the Final Fantasy music. 8 and 9 were all right. Especially 9 was pretty good, but 10, I thought the music to Final Fantasy 10, which was that was the first game that Nobuo Uematsu had help on in composing, but I think it's also the last one that he had a real heavy hand in.
Sure.
And you can tell he put a lot of effort into it. Final Fantasy 10 in general, I thought was a very good game, and perhaps the last great game in the series, and I think the music helps with that.
One of the games I have to talk about, staple of the new millennium, is Halo. And we saw this at play. This was one of the pieces that gets done. As soon as you hear the Halo theme, you can see the spinning, disc in space, and you can see the imagery from the original Halo, and it really is very well tied to the narrative. And I think it was fantastic music from top to bottom. Trust me, if you play the single player of Halo in any of the games, the music is really a central part of how good the game really is.
Fairly recently that I think used an orchestrated orchestra to full potential was Super Mario Galaxy, and that's something that not even since Mario 64. No, that's something we kind of skipped over. Mario 64 had amazing music as well.
Did have good music,
especially the water theme, and so forth. But Super Mario Galaxy had so much good music in it. I was floored when I first started playing it. I was like, okay, this is a pretty fun game. But the very first real music, the Good Egg Galaxy, it just has this, orchestral piece that just floors you, and it has just epic timpani, and you have the strings just coming in at this awesome turn, and just great. And it just goes on from there. Gusty Gardens Galaxy, all these galaxies had their own special themes where the orchestras or the orchestra really just was really
utilized very well.
That's what I'm trying to say. very, it's a very well-known game
It is.
in gamer circles, at least, and it's a great game, really.
Right.
But I think the thing that everyone really takes away from it, and that you'll find 60,000 tributes to on YouTube, is the ending song "Still Alive."
Still Alive.
I mean, if you say the Portal soundtrack, there's not really much of a soundtrack. There's "Still Alive" by Jonathan Colton,
Right.
who is kind of the folk singer nerd messiah right now. I discovered him through that song, and I think most people did.
Sure.
And that just makes you look at all his other songs and realize how much breadth this guy has, and the humor and musicality of the song, like I said, it's the thing everyone really takes away the most from that game. Talking about, you have this insane computer that talks about cake and how it's delicious and moist and all this
Right.
other crazy stuff, but it's just it sticks in your mind, and if there's nothing else that a song really should do, it's stick in your mind.
Right.
We were just singing it to ourselves before the podcast began, and it's been going in my head all this time.
And it probably won't stop anytime soon.
Not as long as I'm wearing this shirt.
But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake. And the science gets done and you make a neat plan for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even though you broke my heart and killed me.
All right, so we've done I think a good job of running through about 20 years of music, and we've left a lot out on purpose. Like we said, we weren't trying to provide an exhaustive history of video game music, but just kind of talk about our favorites. And we've hoped that you've enjoyed taking a trip through time with us, and maybe you've heard some of your favorites here, and maybe you have other suggestions. We'd love to hear from you as well. Some of the best music that you've ever found in video games that you love, or that evoke those same emotions for you about other games. We'd love to hear it. You can stop by and see us at clanofthegraywolf.com and check us out. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks for listening to us here on the Echo Screen, the official podcast of the Clan of the Grey Wolf. One thing I want to do before we finish off really quickly, favorite video game song of all time?
I have to go with the Celis's theme for Final Fantasy VI.
I'm going to go with Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI, but there are so many great songs from Final Fantasy VI I could have picked any
Picked
of
so
them.
much. Yeah, that's a very difficult question.
So it's unanimous here on the Echo Screen, the Clan of the Grey Wolf. We love Final Fantasy VI.
We love me some
The
Final Fantasy
consensus
VI.
is here. Perfect. So thanks again for listening, folks. We've really enjoyed taking this trip down through memory lane with video game music. Come and visit us, as I said, at clanofthegraywolf.com. Check out our YouTube channel. Leave some feedback. Leave some comments. We'd love to hear from you. As always, thanks for listening. This is the Commodore on the Echo Screen, the official podcast of the Clan of the Grey Wolf, and there is no reset button.
See? There you go again.